Awesome, gotcha.
Okay, well, from my end, it's great to see everyone again. I sincerely appreciate this opportunity. We've been together a long time now. I see a lot of familiar faces, or at least names on Greg's screen. Greg did a great job in 2021's package of negotiating a 2-year deal. So for the basic platform of all of our benefits, there aren't any changes to our coverage. Now, he is going to address the new funding method, and I think you're going to be very happy with it. It's going to be really advantageous to some people and definitely a tax saving. But for the basic benefit plans themselves, everyone has their open enrollment verification sheet. I know that it is a pain to fill it out every year, but we must insist that you do. It provides both pricing and options. And what I would basically stress here is that it is open enrollment in the month of December for our 2022 plan offering. If you defer joining the plan at this time, it is certainly your right. And we don't want people to waste money on insurance they don't need. So if you happen to be covered by a great plan through your spouse or parent or some other option, we enthusiastically would ask you keep it. If you involuntarily lose that coverage during the plan year, termination of job, retirement, death, divorce, you turn 26. As long as you tell Candace and the HR department within 30 days of that qualifying event, you will be accepted to our plan, no questions asked. Also remember that in our plans, they're a la carte. So we're trying to provide the best possible situation for everyone. That may mean that you don't take the health insurance, but you put your entire family on the vision, you and your children on the dental, and so on and so forth, but they are all independent. If you look inside your packet, we are going to start out with contact information. Now, again, I'm going to profusely thank you for this chance to keep working with the district. We have relationships with quite a few of the employees. We'd like to maintain that. I want you to feel comfortable that if you contact me or a member of my staff, your information is absolutely confidential and private. Whether Greg and I are friends or not doesn't make any difference. We're professionals. We will give you the best advice possible here. If you discuss your situation or a claim issue, it will be between you and me, and I promise that. We don't only want you contacting us during open enrollment, but all year long. So that's how you do it. Our basic life insurance with Humana, $10,000 pays double in the case of an accidental death. So remember that you have access to that program. Then you'll see this rate table for the voluntary life. There's always confusion on the voluntary life. So I want to give you the respect of going into that a little bit. If you are a member who has deferred joining the voluntary life in the past, regardless of your health information, whatever your status is, if you apply now, you will be approved for $25,000. If you are a member of the plan currently and wish to increase your amount up to $100,000, you will be approved for $25,000 no matter what.
Have a good night.
If you go for amounts over $100,000, you are always subject to underwriting questions, and you are not approved for coverage until we are notified in writing. I will be more than happy to help you compute prices or answer questions about yourself, your spouse, or your kids joining the plan. And this plan is portable at time of retirement. Our Humana Vision plan. I think it's probably the most popular thing that we sell here, because if you only moderately pay attention and you are an eyeglass or contact wearer, you will turn a profit. So we always want to remember in vision plans, they only cover 3 items: an exam, glasses, contacts. There is no such thing as a vision plan emergency. There are certainly eye emergencies, and let's hope no one here has one. But your eye is an organ like your heart, lungs. If that is in play, it is a Blue Cross claim under your health plan. So with that being said, we look at the plan. We say, do I wear glasses? Do I wear contacts? Can I go inside the network? We will check every time for you in advance. It is not Humana as your PPO network. It is IMED. So it confuses people. Just check with our office. And if you do, we'll confirm participation. I would also tell you that personally, I got an $835 pair of glasses with an exam. I paid $338. So I made over $600 by paying this pittance of a vision plan premium. This would be the only plan where I could recommend double covering. If you wear glasses, your spouse wears glasses, your kids wear glasses, you could potentially benefit from double covering. So if you want details, let me know. The dental plan. Now again, we beefed this up a few years ago to really the best plan that we sell anywhere. You are eligible to go to any dentist that you want. So I know this says PPO, non-PPO. Disregard it. Do not confuse your dentist by saying, are you in Humana? That's going to ring in their ears as, are you a member of Humana's PPO? They'll say no. You can go to any dentist. I wrote this personally for rural areas. A couple years ago, when Greg negotiated on your behalf, you actually can get 3 cleanings a year under this plan. And if you're a person who needs periodontal cleanings, 4. So it is theoretically possible that someone on this plan could receive 7 cleanings a year. 7. We have a $2,000 annual maximum that you can be paid, or any family member can be paid, and that's $2,000 each. If you hit that $2,000 ceiling, you'll still be paid 30%. $1,500 one time on kids ortho. And I know we talk about it every year, but I think that it bears repeating. On a dental plan, if you're going to get a cleaning or a filling, just do it. If you're going to get something above the filling level, crown, bridge, root canal, I urge you to secure a pre-estimate for your dentist contacts Humana. It says Steve Leisman's here. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to charge. Humana, what are you going to be paying and what is left over for the patient? If you're disgruntled by that predetermination, which you may well be, contact our office in advance. If we work on this before the work has begun, we almost always get extra money. Not every time, but almost always. If they've already done the work and they have us, we will fight for you, but our chances of getting extra money goes down significantly. So please remember to do that. Now, on the health plan, we still have our same 4 products. It is your right to join these plans January 1, put your spouses on the plan or your kids up to 26. There will not be health questions and there are not pre-existing conditions. That's all for television. They will be covered the first minute. If you join one plan for 2021 and want to move to another one in 2022, it is not a problem. But if you make your choice for 2022, you're basically going to participate in that plan all year. I don't think we're having any issues with the Blue Cross PPO network, although for the first time in many years, there is a controversy with Blue Cross, and it's involving Springfield Clinic, which is a very popular provider in downstate Illinois, basically starting about Lincoln. I don't think it's going to affect anyone in Northern Illinois or the Quad Cities, but if it does, let me know. And we have the 4 plans: bronze, silver, gold, family plan. I'm not going to go over each one in exact detail because they didn't change and they have not changed for years, to your credit. So you're not keeping your benefits the same. I hope you realize. If you're not getting benefit cuts, you're gaining on America. And this is a critical part of your compensation package. Now, I'm older, but if I was going to sell myself the insurance that you get, and I enrolled an employee spouse across the board, which I would, it would cost me $22,000 to buy it for myself in my current situation. You receive that on an income tax-free basis. So this is critical that you figure it in to what you're actually making at your job, okay? The bronze plan, by far the most popular, involves self-funding the deductible, where the district puts up their own money and the district risks their funds on behalf of their members. I think you know by now that we self-fund through Envision, and it is seamless. It is private, it's protected. And the first year, of course, it's always confusing. By the third year, fourth year, I think you guys have it down. You're smart professional people. But if you have an Envision question, you don't have to call them. You can call here. And remember that sometimes you'll go into a provider, and I just hate they do this. But they're going to say, oh, no, you have a high deductible. We want some money up front. Don't pay it. Tell them no money up front. You don't know what we're going to end up owing here. And by the way, even though you'll insist on payment now, it'll be months before I get my money back from you if we overpay. So then have them call not only Blue Cross, but Envision to tell them just how good the benefits are. Remember, you don't have to file anything by paper like we did years ago. It's all done electronically between Blue Cross and Envision. Silver plan. I'm sure there's people listening to this that I said, hey, this is the year you should go silver. Well, that would be for someone who's already pregnant and knows they're going to have a baby. That would be for someone like me who is basically healthy. Even though an old man, I still don't even take any medicine. But I had my hip replaced. I could get my shoulder operated on. I knew these things in advance. In that situation, I'm going to benefit monetarily and tax-wise by opening the silver account and participating in a health savings account. By the way, Jim's going to talk from task in a little bit about flexible spending accounts. But you can have the silver plan and a flexible spending account, or the silver plan and a health savings account, but you can't have both. But you could be a situation where I'd like to advance the $2,800 deductible, sign up and defer into the flexible spending account. First day you swipe your card, task will front the money. So we can give you examples on that. Now the gold plan is extremely high end, but I'm not sure why anyone would ever take it. And I think this year no one did they? One, maybe one. This would be a special situation with a preordained treatment system and program that we already know of. So if anyone's interested in the gold and spending the extra money, please talk to me. I'll give you my best advice. And then a few years ago, you know what constantly hurts people? Well, the district pays so much of the health insurance for the employee, that's pretty easy. But people with children and families, they face some tough choices. So Greg and your benefit committee, they did listen to you, and we put in what we call the family plan. This is also eligible for a health savings account or flexible spending account. And I'll think that with your new arrangement that Greg and Jim are going to go over, this family plan could become way more popular, because I could see taking the family plan. I used to have a wife and 4 kids on my plan, so I've seen every situation. Taking the family plan and pairing it with a flexible spending account, not just a health savings account, one or the other. And I might make this really attractive if I got 3 or 4 children. Okay, so there aren't any changes there. And if we looked at what we think people are missing out on, it's the virtual visits. We're getting almost no usage out of this. Folks, this is a winner for you. Register on your phone. Here's mine. I've got Blue Cross like you do. There's my orange icon. If I punch that button, I'm gonna get a Blue Cross doctor. Okay, 24/7. I know they're in the network. Now, they could charge you something depending on what you talk about. But it is so much more cost effective, efficient, and convenience effective now than going to prompt care. They can dispense prescriptions. I just went on a vacation with my wife. She's sick in the car, but not that sick. We knew what it would be. If she just could get an antibiotic, she's gonna be fine. Instead of the old days where we'd have to find a PPO hospital, spend a half day, go to the emergency room, probably cost me $2,000. From West Virginia, she punches the button, talks to the Blue Cross doctor. They say, where are you staying? Columbus, Ohio. Where's your hotel? By the time we got to Walgreens, we drove through the drive-up window. They handed the medicine. Pretty big improvement. So we're not trying to replace your doctor, but we're trying to get you convenient, affordable options. Please don't forget you have it. And I recommend everybody registers if you haven't, because I would be sick and looking for it, then I'd get mad that I wouldn't use it. But I've got it on my phone now. I can punch it at any time. Now, there's a cost to that, but there's no cost to the nurse helpline. So anytime you call this nurse helpline, you're going to get an RN, and they're not going to charge you anything. Now, they can't dispense medicine, but they could help you out. And we want to remember that our drug card is a good one. And there are a tremendous amount of drugs from Walgreens or Walmart that cost nothing. It still surprises me myself. But I want you to remember, Blue Cross doesn't work with CVS now. So you don't have coverage at CVS. Do I think that CVS is a good chain? I do. Do I think it's a good chain for me or you? I don't. So remember, no CVS. Remember, if you got your kids in college or something, tell them, hey, you got to go to Walgreens or Walmart. And any family pharmacy, and I mean, you go to grocery stores, this works at Meijer, this works at a variety of places. And if you need maintenance medicine and haven't looked into the 3-for-2 mail order program, give me a call. I'll hook you up with it. They can't dispense everything, but 3-for-2, save 33% on your prescription. Okay. Well, do we have any questions coming up in the
No,
box?
no questions as of this time that have been sent.
Excellent. Well, I'll let you and Jim address the new funding mechanism, and I'll answer how it might help you or not help you tying it to those health plans.
I was just seeing if I had any sympathy there, so. All right. Jim, do you want to go ahead and give a rundown of the new task? Jim works for TASK, Yinco. Did I say it right, Jim? Is it Yinco or am I close?
Close enough. It's like Kinko's but with a Y. So you said Yinko and that works. Yep.
Gotcha. I'm going to have him describe the new plans that we have, and then I'm going to try to fill in some blanks for everybody of different funding options for everyone. I know, again, we've sent out some information to everybody, but I have switched over to Task from our old Flex plan that was Envision. This is a lot more robust. It has a lot, it's so much easier. I mean, even to the point of, you want to sign up for this, there's no more uploading your receipts and getting money back. You're going to receive a debit card that you can swipe it at Walgreens or wherever you're at, and it pays for your stuff right then and there. But that's kind of my super exciting part to it. And I think we'll have a lot of people to take advantage of it. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to the Jim to give everybody a quick rundown of it, and then I'll try to fill in the blanks for everybody. Okay.
Sounds good. Thanks, Craig. Yeah, so it's thanks for having me. So I've been at TASK for 15 years working with all different scopes and sizes of entities. And so I think I bring in some expertise there, but I I think more than anything, I'm a Flex user, and I have been since I graduated from college in 1998 and got LASIK surgery. And I paid for that with tax-free money through my personal Flex spending account. As Greg mentioned, oddly enough, I just got my benefits card. I was actually at Walmart today buying some things for my kid who's got a little flu-like symptoms. He COVID negative, but I got a COVID test. I got some cough drops. What else did I get? But anyways, I got a couple other things. I swiped the card and it took care of all 5 of the items out of my Flex spending account. So I didn't need to submit receipts or fax anything anywhere. It just swiped, and I had $2,000 in my account, and it covered the $88 that was my medical expense. So the cool thing with benefits, we just want it to be easy. You want benefits to feel like benefits. You don't want it to be cumbersome. Had I not had my card, I could have simply taken my phone, taken a picture of the receipts, and it would have come out of my Flex spending account that way. So there's a lot of ways to make it really, really easy. And in my tenure at 15 years, we've only had the smartphone app for 5 years, the card for about 7. But before that, you had to send in a fax. Did it ever get through? Did it not? It was pretty clunky. So we've really streamlined, making it super easy to get access to your funds. So just a quick little tidbit on the card, but you would get one, a spouse, any dependents, whoever would want it. You swipe, and anything that's a tax write-off that can be run through a Flex spending account, it'll be accepted. So if I go to Meijer, was an example that Steve mentioned, or say Walgreens, Walmart, and I buy Band-Aids, contact solution, get a prescription refilled and a bottle of water, I don't know what's a tax write-off or not. I'm going to try that task card. I swiped it. It took care of everything except the $2 bottled water. So the clerk generally has no idea what's going on. Meanwhile, you give yourself a pat on the back, like, hey, those 5 things are all a tax write-off through my Flex. Awesome. And I need to pay $2 in a bottle of water. You'll actually see on your receipt, and part of my role, I think, at Task is to promote better consumerism. But you'll notice on that receipt, it'll say FSA/HRA, and it'll give you a subtotal of those things that were a medical deduction for you. So pretty slick. But I notice every receipt that I do, every vendor, you could be in Arizona on vacation and you go to Walgreens there, you can use it anywhere, but it'll have a subtotal FSA/HRA. So pretty slick. It keeps the thinking out of it. Acupuncture, is that good? Chiropractor, dental vision expenses, swipe the card. Try to buy fuel with it or or lunch, it certainly will not work. So it's barcoded. Since 2011, any vendor that sells medically necessary things has to have their barcode up to snuff. So we capitalize on that to make it easy for the end user. So anyways, tangent, sorry. But yeah, so benefits, robust. There's a lot of things we can do on a tax favorable basis. And meeting with Greg, he was kind of an early adopter. He's like, yeah, we haven't played in this sandbox for a little while. Can we do more for our staff? Can we make more things available? And we kind of went through some things in a conversation and said, yeah, we'd like to open up some accounts. If we can do some things on a tax favorable basis, let's do it. So we kind of landed the plane with a Flex spending account that has 2 buckets. These are all segregated, unique buckets, but it's all under like one employee. So you'd have a platform of a menu of 3. One would be Flex spending account for out of pocket. So that's your copays, deductibles, your Band-Aids, your that kind of stuff. So anything that you would normally have to write a check out for, or you would have some expense, that's all items that can be run through the FSA out of pocket bucket. So $28.50 is a limit that an individual could do. And say if Jack and Jill both worked at the school district, could each of them do $28.50? Absolutely. So it's for any full-time benefit. So I'm an employee at Task. Our benefit year started November 1st. My Flex of $2,800 is already spent. I had a kid who had a surgery. My wife's open enrollment happens to be in December. She's also going to put $28.50 for that out-of-pocket bucket. Okay, so that's one benefit, kind of a new account. Second one is a flexible spending account for daycare. And this is, I don't know if anybody's had this before, but this is kind of a no-brainer. So if you have kids in daycare, you're paying a heck of a lot more than $5,000. last time I paid, I think it was $28,000 in net money that I'm paying to my daycare. So the IRS says, hey, we want to help you out. $5,000 of that you can pay tax free. So it's a money in, money out account. So we would say I'm going to flex $5,000 just to keep math simple. Let's just say I had 10 payrolls, even though you're probably paid bi-weekly 24 or 26 times throughout the year. But let's just say 10. So I know they're pulling $500 every payroll from my paycheck. And they pull 500, I can literally reimburse myself that same day of 500 hours, or I could wait for 6 months, or I could wait until December and get Christmas account. But it's a way to pay yourself back tax-free. And so when you look at that, every $1 that we earn, there's state, there's federal, there's FICA taxes pulled out. I was actually explaining this to my son who's homesick today because he asked me, Dad, what do you do for a living? So I said, he's like, do you sell health insurance? I said, I do not. Are you an accountant? I am not. But what we do is we toggle between the both. I said, what we do is make healthcare more affordable. So as opposed to $1 of income, you get it at 66 cents. If you do a flex $1, you have the buying power of $1. So every dollar you flex, whether it be for out of pocket or daycare, you're giving yourself a 35-cent increase, 35-cent raise on every dollar you flex. So just as a quick example, if I flexed $5,000 for the daycare, and if you have daycare, it's a no-brainer. You gave yourself a $1,750 raise by having that be a tax-free transaction. So I've got kids that are a little bit older, they're 15 and 12, but ever since they were in daycare, absolutely I max that. We were hoping that we could do 10,500. So there was a COVID relief bill for 2021 that probably will get extended, but it's got to be signed into law. So it's not set in stone. So the limit today is $5,000. Hopefully that goes back to 2021 thresholds, which is $10,500. So the more money we can put into a flex spending account tax-free, the better. We obviously just want to make sure we use it, but flex for daycare, you can put up to $5,000. Another unique benefit, it's the whole goal of attracting and retaining employees is what else can we do? So we did a pet care account. My example, I use Bivy. There's a lot of them out there. There's Pet Plan, there's Pet First. There's a lot of them, but if you buy pet care, and this includes room and board, it's not just cats and dogs. I was talking to somebody at Test today. She's got a horse. She used the pet care account for that. So you can reimburse yourself for the premiums, like I said, room and board. And I don't know. It's funny. I kind of joke. My neighbors maybe don't have health insurance, but here my freaking Labradoodle has insurance. And sure enough, 6 months after I bought it, he had to go in and have some cancer removed from his throat. And we legit got reimbursed $1,000 out of our $3,000 bill. So that's the cap for the year, but that's Bivy. That's how that one worked out. I have a counterpart in Phoenix. I pay $9 a month. He pays 43. So you pick your own insurance vendor and your own rates, kind of like you're doing with the health insurance. And then you're allowed to pay yourself back just like the Flex daycare account. So that's the three offerings. One is for out-of-pocket medical expense. Second one's for daycare, and the third one is for pet care. One thing I know that Greg and I talked about, it's January 1st. I've been sandbagging a knee surgery or a rotator cuff for kids in braces. If I flex 2,800, can I use it all January 1st? Absolutely, that money's available to you right from the onset. So you actually see macro trend-wise, a lot of surgeries are in December when people are emptying out their accounts, or January when they plan to up their flex spending limit so they can cover that anticipated out-of-pocket expenses. With the out-of-pocket, there's also a $500 carry forward feature. So if you don't use it all, it'll go back to the next year, 2023. So that's in short how the new offerings work. But if somebody maxed out, right, if you put $5,000, if you had kids in daycare, obviously not everybody does, but some people do. And if you did the out-of-pocket, you're throwing $2,800. Say you got pet care, you could give yourself $10,000 of tax-free employee benefits. So that's super exciting. You literally give yourself a $3,500 raise every single year by participating, if that fits your circumstance. And we do have a question. So did he say, I can't quite see it, but can I see it, Greg, you could probably see it. No.
What?
So daycare provider is a good question. We knew it had come up. So it's got to be licensed. So at the end of the year, you're going to do your personal taxes, and Task will send a sheet, and it'll ask for the Fed ID number for the daycare. So it can't be grandma. It's got to be, I mean, dare I say, a legit daycare provider. Now, I have accountant friends. Could their nanny get an EIN number? Absolutely. Do they want to pay taxes on what you're paying them? That's kind of a different can of worms. But so they've got to have an EIN number, or they've got to get one. So that's the question with daycare. But if grandma, no, but we know what a daycare is. But it's got to be a legitimate daycare with a Fed ID number. Did we say it can carry forward? Yeah. So carry forward is $500 each year with Flex. For pet care would cover annual shots. The only thing it doesn't do is grooming. So shots, yes. Doggy diapers for aging pets. That one I'll have to get back to you. That one I don't know, but it's I don't want to, Greg, send you all the stuff, but you can imagine for each thing, like for the Flex out of pocket, it's code section 213D. It's a really long list, and it changes. But certain things like breast pumps, certain things like acupuncture is kind of a tobacco cessation program that's on there. So it's a long list. Pet care does have its own long list. And I think the employer has liberties of what can be run through. But grooming is definitely one that's not. Doggy diapers, I almost guarantee can be run through as a reimbursable item. So the Flex annual max, it's $2,850. Yep, per employee. So if you've got it here at the district and your spouse works somewhere else and they have access, they can also do $2,850. So these are good questions. Kim, Marcy, Susan. So thank you. But that kind of wraps up the enhancement, what we're doing. So it's giving yourself a pay raise should you have a need for pets out of pocket and daycare. So I don't know. It's hard to say. So I've been attached for so long, but if I went to another employer and if they didn't have some of these criteria that I've gotten used to, it might be kind of a factor if I'm going to move further with that employer. So these are really good perks. And Steve kind of brought it up to Greg, and Greg's like, yeah, absolutely. We can help our staff out. Let's do it. Absolutely. So I think we're excited by the offerings, and me as a user, just think every dollar you put in either of these buckets, you're giving yourself a 35% increase on there. So available day one. Yep. Available day one here's one quick thing that we talked about, Greg and I, daycare. If I flex 5,000 hours, can I give myself a 5,000 hour? No, that one's a little different. It's money in, money out. So in my example, $500 once a month comes out of my paycheck. I can reimburse what's in that account. Flex for out of pocket, whatever you elect is available day one. Absolutely. As my example, not to be a me guy, but November 1st was my flex first day. We're not even through November. I literally have spent $2,800. I don't have any money left. So I got to go from my wife's account, which kind of works out. But yeah, all that money is available day one, and Task is still going to only take, I don't know, I haven't looked at a paycheck in a while, but I flex $2,850. We have 26 payrolls. So that's what, $112 per paycheck. They're still only taking $112 every 2 weeks from my check. So I'm getting a tax-free loan that way. Does the max 20 include the $1,500? No.
That one be for me, Jim.
Yep. So you might have more questions, but the daycare, we anticipated what qualifies. Flex out of pocket, when's that available? It's all available day one. And then the pet care, what's in, what's out. Everything but the grooming is essentially in play, including your premiums that you pay. So, Greg, that's not the
About
whole.
it, huh?
We'll
All
let you
right,
take the mic.
everybody ready for me to scramble your brains just a little bit?
Sounds good. I'll go on mute.
All right. So in using Task, there's a reason that I've switched over to that. And one of them was everybody's noticed on your contracts that you receive, you've had a choice always from the beginning of there's a $1,500 stipend that is on there, okay? And you've had two choices this whole time. You can either take that 1,500 and put it towards your health insurance. So if you choose to be on our health insurance, it goes right back to your health insurance and you're good to go, okay? The other option was if you choose to not have our health insurance, then you receive a $1,500 stipend, okay? Which was here applied, we would put it into your paychecks. Well, TRS has gotten wise to that, and so is IMRF and the IRS, which in doing that, all the people that are taking it and putting it onto their health insurance are now getting taxed on that, getting hit with TRS and vice versa, and so on and so on. Anyway, with all the new regulations, if you really want to be bored someday, come visit me and I will go through all of it with you with a fine-tooth comb and you will be even more confused. Anyway, so the choices that we are going to have now, because I think this is a good program, I am going to offer 3 choices for everybody for the health insurance, okay? So you know that fine handy dandy little sheet that Candace sends out to everybody that has all the choices of the bronze, the silver, the gold, the one that you choose your health insurance, what you want, or you put a line through it and you say no changes to it, or hey, I'm not taking your insurance, okay? So here are the choices. 1, if you do not want our insurance, you again will be entitled to the $1,500 stipend. However, it will not be given out anymore as salary. It will be directed into the flex spending account. So $1,500, you will get to choose, do you want to put it into health? Do you want to put it into the pet care, or do you want to put it into your daycare? Okay. That is your choices for that. Okay. And that's choice 1. Choice 2 is you take our health insurance. You put the $1,500 towards the health insurance. And then there's a choice 3 that I'm going to give out now also to kind of help and promote people to using a flex spending account, because it can save you money. Is you can take our insurance and you can then opt that $1,500 be put into a flex account. You're going to pay for it. So if you're looking at that enrollment verification form, bronze is the one that we pay for, okay? You'll see the 22 pays, but we have 26 pays. So I'm only going to do 26 pays instead of confusing everybody with all the others, okay? The 26 pays, you'll see without flex account, right now, you already pay this, everyone. If you take our insurance, you pay $35.25 a pay for 26 pay, okay? If you don't want to accept the $1,500, then that's what it's going to be. No changes, no nothing. If you would like to have me take that $1,500 and not apply it to your health insurance, I will put it up into a flex spending account, which then your insurance 26 pays will be $92.94. That's about as easy as I can explain it. That $1,500 isn't free $1,500. That $1,500 goes towards insurance, goes towards a health save, or goes to a flex account, and you have my insurance, but you're going to pay, you're basically putting that $1,500 in there. I'm just kind of helping you get to that spot. Okay. And, or you can just take it as cash in a flex account and not take our insurance. That's about, I said, that's about as simple as I can get with it. Okay. So so you're going to need to check with that. You can easily ask me. Now, if you put the $1,500, let's say you have, you're choosing to not take our insurance, you're taking $1,500. This is going to be something, Jim, this will be news to you also. On this form here, There's multiple, you gotta pick the one you want. This is the task form that was sent to everybody also. There's a box that says employee annual salary reduction election, okay? That's where how much you want to put in there. There's an employee annual contribution. You will never write anything into that at all. Just, it's kind of gray now. Think of that as no man's land. It's never going to happen. It's a big zero, the employee contribution, okay? You will need to put that in there. So if you want to do, again, for the healthcare, it's $2,850 a year. The $1,500, if you choose to do this, that is in there, will go towards that $2,850, okay? So you can still then put $1,350 of your own money in there to make it a $2,850 max amount, okay? Or you can put it into your dependent care, which is the $5,000. If you put your 15 in there, you could still contribute another 3,500 of your own money. So when you're looking at on this sheet here, if and when, I said, you're all going to have questions or people are going to have questions for this, okay? Let's say I'm somebody that's going to take the $1,500. I'm not taking the insurance, period. I only want 1,500. I don't want to do any extra. And I want to put it in the healthcare. You check healthcare, you put $1,500 in there, you're good to go. That's it. That's all you have to do. And then, well, you got to put your name on it so I know it's you. All right. So you'll fill this form out. This form at the very top of it, you don't need to worry about that because I know I'm the employer. Just throwing that out there. I've got that one covered. But I do need your name. I do need your information. I don't care what your hire date is because I already know what it is. Your payroll frequency, you should know this. You're either going to be 22 pay or you're going to be 26 pay. If you have a question, send us an email. Then you go down to your annual elections. Then at the bottom, Jim, I do have a question for you here. Because you can get a task card, I can get one for myself, my wife, and let's say I wanted to give one to my daughter when she goes to the dermatologist on her own, so since I don't have to drive her anymore, which I love, but she can go and she can swipe her own card. On the sheet here, it says an additional fee may apply. If I get a third card for my daughter, is there a fee that applies? You're muted, Jim.
I was joking. There's always one of those in the crowd with the mute button. So yeah, that would be for Greg, you, your spouse, and kids in college. There wouldn't be an upcharge for that. So
There would not be. Okay, cool. That was one of the questions I'd had and somebody else had. So I know it's a lot of information, everybody, and it can be changed, but I think this is such a good product that everybody can utilize. Because like you said, it's right now, everything, if you can pull anything out and put it in here, it's not being taxed anymore. You know, it looks as credible earnings for you, which is good for your retirement, but it does not get taxed. And if it's not getting taxed again, you know, that's about a third. You know, it's like 27 to 30% that you're losing off of it every time. So anything you can take out, that's less money you're getting taxed on. I just think it's a good benefit for everybody and it can help. One other question that was thrown, somebody asked me the other day, Jim, was if, let's say they had a procedure done in November and they haven't paid their bill off and it's February of this upcoming year, can they use this year's money to pay for a bill that happened to them back in like November?
All right, so there's a practicality answer and there's a real world answer. So I would suggest, I would say 90% of our clients, if they emptied their bucket out at the end of the year and they still had a balance of 1,200, would they use their flex dollars for 2023 to repay the balance? Emphatically, that's pretty, yeah, that would be a common practice. Yeah.
Okay. One other one, and I'll answer this. Again, when he was talking about what money is available, I'll really clarify this. So that healthcare FSA piece, on January 1st, if you put in there 2850, you have 2850 available to you. I'm still going to take it out over the next year. It's $57.70. If anybody is curious what $1,500 is over 26 pays, just figure that out. But if you do the 2850, that is available in the health side on January 1st. I'm just going to go ahead and do it the rest of the way. The dependent care is its own little animal over here. It's got its own rules. It's got its own little other things. You can only use what you have put into that account to pay your daycare. So you don't have, if you wanted your $1,500 to go in there, you can't pay a $1,500 bill to your daycare, which, by the way, if you have a $1,500 bill from your daycare for a month, I need to sit down and have a conversation with you about changing your daycare provider because you're making a bad choice. Anyway, if you have that though, and it's going to be, again, if it's $1,500, it is $57.70. So you will have $57 one check, $57.70 the second check. So you basically got $65 available to you, unless you put more in there, which you could do more, which if you have children in daycare, I highly advise that you go ahead and put another $3,500 in there and offset some of your own money. Does that make sense, everybody? I know you can't answer me.
You got another question?
I got another question. What I got here?
I would say too, Greg, on that, if somebody's taking money from my paycheck, for your example, daycare, I'm not going to leave it in there. You know what I mean? Like they're pulling $100 or 58 bi-weekly. Yeah, I'm going to empty that bucket out whenever I want it. And I appreciate it because it's tax-free money.
All right. I get less. Hey, Kelly, I'll answer your question here. It's the best I can do it. Right now, you pay $35.25 a pay if you have our health insurance. That's what you pay if you're on the bronze. I'm only talking bronze here. I'm not talking silver, gold, or family. Those are different questions. And that's a different question you can come and ask me about, but I'm talking bronze. Right now, you pay $35.25 a pay. That's what you've been paying all last year. That's what it's going to be next year. Okay. That's if you, again, everybody has a $1,500 stipend. It was created in the contract many, many years ago for individuals that did not need to take our insurance. So this was a way for them to receive a benefit of $1,500. So we had to create it. So the only way that that could have been created was I had to create a stipend per IRS regulations for all of you. So if you look at your contract, you'll see this $1,500 stipend in there. I'm going to say this and you're going to think it's weird when I say it, but I'll have to show it. It's fake money. It's fake paper money is what that is. I only put it on there so everybody can access, or that does not want the health insurance can get and receive $1,500 extra in pay, or going forward, it's going to be in the flex account. Okay. So right now, everybody has that $1,500. I just take back the fake $1,500 right now, and I put it towards your health insurance. So you only have to pay $35.25 a pay. Okay. The new option is you're going to pay $35.25 already. You're already paying that. You're still going to pay that forever and ever and ever. But instead of taking that $1,500 and putting it on your insurance and staying at $35.25, and you say, hey, Greg, put it in here and give me a flex account with $1,500 in it. Well, I'm just not giving you $1,500 because you're taking my insurance. Okay. So you now need to owe me an extra $57.70. And if you add together $50.70 and $35.25, it comes out to be like $94.23 or something weird like that. Actually, I got the exact amount. $92.94. I almost overcharged you by $1. So every pay, so if you want $1,500 in an account and have the insurance, you got to pay for the $1,500, because that, as soon as you put it in that flex account, it becomes not fake money anymore. It becomes real money. And that real money is your money though, because I'm keeping the cost down $35.25. I don't know if that answered the question at all. Oh, another good question here. What happens to the money at the end of the year? At the end of the year, you can carry over $500 into next year of unspent money. And you can do it for 3 months. Okay? At the end of the 3 months, if you don't spend it, it disappears. It goes to the flex ferries. I don't know, but it is no longer accessible to you after the 3-month period. So if you're going to do it, I would start advising you would have 3 months to carry that over and start using it. $500 though. So if you've only spent $500 all the way up to that point, you are going to lose $500 going into the next year, because I cannot carry over $1,000. Yes. Yes, Teresa. You can start at $1,500, and if you want to up it to $2,850, then you're going to put down on that sheet, the task form, you will put in that employee contribution, $2,850. And I will know, because I know who does not take our insurance. I will know, according to this, who wants to take our insurance but have a $1,500 account. So this is important. And I will also know who only wants health insurance, and I don't want to do that. Just keep my deduction at $35.25. So these two pieces of paper are coming into the office, and we're merging them together. And then Amanda has an excessive amount of work to do of making deductions. Candace has another excessive amount of work doing, collecting and making sure we get all your names in the task and all that. And so everybody, she sent out to you the 15th, December 15th. I would highly encourage you, if you want to do this, or you want to get your information in, or you have no changes, please get it into us before the 15th. The 15th is a deadline. And trust me on this one, I will not accept anybody's paperwork or anything after the 15th. If you get it to me after the 15th, you are going to remain exactly the way you were last year. And if you didn't want flex, or you wanted it now, I will not do it. We don't have the time, because we then have from the 15th to January 1st to get everything to task, to get all the deductions put in there and everything ready for that first payroll that starts on January, which will be January 7th is your first payroll, that everything will start being deducted or changed up and all that. What else did I got? Anything else? If I completely confused everybody, because if I have, I didn't mean to. If you want me, please feel free. You know, you can reach out to me. If you have specific questions about you specifically, you may ask Candace, you may ask me also. If I don't know them, then I'm going to ask Steve. And if Steve doesn't know them, he's going to ask Jim, because this is new, but this is, it's new to us in the office. This is old hat to Jim. Steve's known it forever as well. We'll get the answer for everybody. But again, it's an incredibly good plan. Just throwing it out there. Side note for everybody, the 1,500, let's say you chose to take the health insurance and then put the $1,500 in there, and you will be paying the $92.94. Okay. Just throwing this out there. Our deductible for the bronze plan, again, it says $3,500 on the actual insurance. We pick up, you are responsible for $1,500. So if you were to flex that $1,500, guess what? If you flex that and you pay $92.94, and you have something done and you hit your deductible and it's February, you're gonna be able to pay your deductible of $1,500 right then and there, not have to worry about it. You're already covered for the rest of the year. Silver plan, this is a huge one for you because you're gonna be able to flex the entire amount of your deductible, the $2,800 that you're responsible for. And by the way, if you're on the silver plan and you hit that, remember, once you hit your deductible with silver, everything is 100%, prescriptions, everything across the board. If you're having a baby, you gotta be on that one. It's a fabulous plan for you. You're gonna hit the $2,800, flex $2,850, and then you are done the rest of the year. 100% is paid for you. Okay? Oh, what else do I have? All right. How do we get updated cards?
Email me.
Email Steve and he'll get you new cards and everything else. All right.
Thanks a lot.
Does anybody have anything else for me? Again, you know where I'm at most of the time. If not, most of you all have my cell phone. You can find me and track me down or get a hold of Candace. She knows where to find me if she can't answer your question. You've got Steve's number in the packet also. But I think this is really good stuff. Thank you for everybody for getting on here. We are going to tape this, or I am taping this. God, I just aged myself a little bit there, didn't I? I am recording this digitally. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the website, or actually I won't be, Kelly will be. So I got to figure out how to even get it to Kelly somehow. And then she'll put it up there if you want to review it. Or again, just reach out to me and ask me a question. I'm more than happy to answer your question. Okay, everybody?
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. I'm going to sign off here. You take care. I'm glad everybody got on here. Be good. Talk to you later. Bye, Jim, and thank you again.
Thank you.